Bing, and we're live as AtlanticScrum, Sam and Thomas. Yes, so let me. There's so many things I could say, but before that, let's hear what Thomas has to say. Thomas, how are things with you?
Just fine, thank you. Busy today. Doing some redesign of a client website. This payment system I was telling you about. So yes. Interesting meetings. There's been a lot of Skype meetings, a lot of team viewer meetings, a lot of Hangouts today. So it seems like I live my whole life online right now. That's the way it is.
Indeed, 21st century and all that.
Yes, but I was in the Euro Scrum and spoke to David and Sasha. Talked to Sasha a little bit about. I wasn't able to pair with him today, unfortunately. But I spoke to him about this feature that we're working on, and I know that he has put in some work on that.
Right.
Hopefully tonight I'll be able to hook up with him. Yes, I was recording week 4 video for the course, but I haven't finished that yet. So I will spend some time doing that and pushing that up to YouTube and then to edX. And what else? I guess that's it. I was reviewing a lot of posts on this edX.
Yeah.
Stock Exchange. In May, when I was going away, I saw that there are some posts from May about this pair programming thing, and there was a lot of opposition to recording pair programming sessions.
Oh yes, no. As I was saying to Kenny the other day, it really kicked off when we introduced kind of basically the way that it was that. I kind of added the thing. It wasn't compulsory to do the pair programming. Although I guess some people. Well, what I'd done is I'd put down, 10 sort of arbitrary 10 marks out of 100 for each week for upload a pair programming video, and some people felt that was extraordinary. I think some people took sort of quite offence that they would somehow be required to interact with other people in real time.
Yes.
There was I thought there was a very interesting discussion. I mean, I not sure if I did, but I kind of felt that I can't remember which was the big pair programming one. There was one chat that got really, really long.
Yes, and way out of hand.
It got quite acrimonious. I felt in retrospect that I had done a reasonable job in, or maybe it's this one. Still not. In kind of like addressing all of the concerns and saying, all this, that, and the other. And I think then some people also did come in and say, hey, I did a pair programming session and it was like fantastic, and I met these lovely people and it was really, really good experience. So, and I also sort of adjusted to make it explicit to say, basically, if you really personally object to doing pair programming, then you're not required to do so, and you can submit, a text document describing why you don't want to do the pair programming, and you'll still get the points.
Yes.
And that ultimately seemed to mollify people, but it was a very interesting discussion to have had.
Yes, and there was at least some balanced comments from some members that, as you said, that they came in and did that, and there was another. I think there was a user that actually asked who are the people that complain about pair programming? Have they ever done it? And
yes.
So yes.
Indeed. Oh, and Nikesh is here. Hey, Nikesh, how are you doing?
Hey, Sam. How are you?
Yeah, I'm well. It's I feel like you're such a huge distance away from me now, but we need to see more of each other in real time. Not all this online mixing up and. But Nikesh, let me introduce Thomas. Thomas, Nikesh.
Hi, Thomas.
How's it going, Nikesh?
Good. How are you?
Just fine, thanks.
So Nikesh is a graduate of, like Sasha, actually, is a graduate of Makers. Nikesh Thomas is my co-founder with Agile Ventures.
Okay.
Framework together. I don't know if you've come in through the site or you came in through the link that I just posted into the engineering channel.
Yeah, I just clicked on that link to see.
Yeah. Indeed. So we run these scrums like 4 or 5 times a day. just to allow people to kind of hook up with each other and check out what's going on and that and the other. And yeah, anyway, if you haven't seen this before, just hang back and Thomas and I were just discussing how in the online MOOC, the kind of how the reaction to pair programming. We had
yes, because I saw some of the similar comments, not that tough and harsh perhaps, but I read through a discussion on website one, someplace, I can't really recall what it was, and about do we really want to be assessed by people who don't know who they are, us stumbling over problems without actually
Well, so some people are they feel very self-conscious about programming in front of another person, and that's that's understandable. I think the interesting thing from the course was that I'll just because you've got the maker's floor in the background there, I'll just mute you briefly, but do unmute yourself if you want to chat. I don't know if you use Hangouts or if you mouse over the Hangout at the top of the thing, there's a little mute and unmute button there if you need to chat. But I think some people were particularly offended by the idea of that in the Hangout they were sort of expected to be on a webcam, and they were basically expected to kind of show their face and their environment to some other person in real time, and that was very disturbing for some people. And then I went to some lengths to sort of reassure them that actually, you don't have to use the webcam. It's not required at all. And in fact, really although the audio is nice, you could just be doing text chat and screen share, and that's all that's necessary. But then there's the thing that you're mentioning there is the level above that, which is that even if you're just doing text chat and screen share, then there's the concern that you're being observed, and I think people feel very self-conscious and so on. But this is the challenging thing. In some ways, I think that they need to kind of overcome that self-consciousness in order to develop as programmers. But it's a painful process for many.
Huh. Yes, I was surprised by this actually. I missed this because I was away. So
right.
But it's good because I was like when I was reading this I was all upset after a while because my feeling was like, if you don't want to do this, just don't do it, And I mean, some people go to such a big length to excuse themselves from certain things that could put them in a position where they should step out of this comfort zone. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
Instead of just taking that small leap and step outside the zone, they spend all this energy and time and effort, explaining to themselves basically.
Why they
wouldn't do it, because I mean all this text. I mean, we're talking several hours of
discussion.
Discussions.
Yes.
I was so surprised by this.
Well, although I thought the thing that you said before, Thomas, which is that before coming online and pairing with us for the first time, you remember being distinctly nervous.
Yes. I actually updated the Grow document today with a quote from me. When that was before I read this discussion. I started with that. I was hesitant to this idea because I felt nervous about it. But the more I talked to you and some other people in Edge Adventures. Feel free to correct any spelling mistakes.
I was just going to try, and what I wanted to do there was just make it so, because at the moment it does this. We've got this break here between mine and it.
I thought they did some break between you and me.
I think it's got space, but it's also got this grey thing on the extreme left. But anyway, but thank you for having that. Anyway, I mean.
But you know what I mean. I think that we're into something very unique because we actually take the time to do those things together and.
Oh yes, I think that is the potential added value of Agile Ventures, is about scaffolding people through that process of taking that leap to pair online. But I might to bring Nikesh in. So Nikesh, have you used Hangouts much before?
I've used it for work.
Right.
Not for programming.
Right, all right. So you've used it for meetings and so on, but you haven't used it for. So, but I assume you've done pair programming through the course, obviously you've done pair programming.
Every week. Every day.
Have you done remote pair programming with people that you hadn't met in person?
No, not with people that I haven't met.
Or you've done remote pair programming with some people that you have met?
Yeah, so in our final project, we had, obviously, the weekends where we were working on the project.
Oh, okay. There you go. Right.
And we were programming over like sort of either a Skype chat or
Right.
a Google Hangout of some sort.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, and Agile Ventures is basically it's a worldwide community of open source developers, who remote pair program on stuff to try and, for charitable causes. But anyway, so what we do with these scrums is often, so Thomas had been updating me on what's going on with him, and we got in sort of a chat there, it was an interesting chat, which sometimes happens. Probably to get us back on track, I should just update for what's happening with me. And so we just ran our first pre-course question and answer session online with 4 Maker students who are in the pre-course, and that went...
Yeah, I saw the post from Dan. I think I'm going to join the one tonight.
Yeah, I think it's tomorrow night, actually. The evening one is tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, yeah. Tomorrow night.
So that was quite nice, and I'm kind of getting excited about the idea that we're basically going to be bringing many, many more people into the fold of doing pair programming online, because I think it is just very cool. So the other thing that I did was that, so we've got this engineering channel on HipChat, which is where Makers alumni are sort of gathering with interest in working on our Makers dev projects, and possibly also, well, I'm going to show them Agile Ventures as well. But so I've kind of, the next step after having given, and Thomas has already, I gave some Agile Venture core members, so this is Nikesh, I gave some Agile Venture core members, including Thomas, access to the same, the pre-course and the, the Ronin repository that you've seen. So, but yeah, I'm hoping to see, to maybe take various parts of that Ronin project open source and be doing open source pair programming on it through this framework with Agile Ventures. We'll see how that goes. And I think is that the main update from me. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. The other things, Agile Ventures, I'm basically going to be skipping the client meeting. The big thing basically from now to next week is the MOOC needs to get ready to run, and I need to make sure that Thomas and Sampriti and Michael all have access to that, but I'm not going to be thinking about it for a while. So I think that's probably, Thomas, that's everything.
That's a wrap. I think that's a wrap. But
one thing I'll just finally mention that we were talking about the icons for those I forgot what they're called now on the homepage.
Round banners. Yes.
And it was just I was thinking that actually like a pair of heads for the pair. Anyway, I started posting some. I got the no, I've lost it now, but I got the foundation.
Font Awesome.
Yeah, Font Awesome thing here, and I was basically like I think this FA line chart that would be great for growth, and then that FA slide share that actually looks quite good for pairing, and so I think that there are there's a few that might conceptually make more sense than the Anyway, I'll keep on pinging you about that.
We do love Font Awesome. We used a lot of it.
Well, Font Awesome is a lot of fun. Yes. But I interrupted you there, Thomas. Yeah, that was sort of a minor thing I shouldn't have bothered you.
And listen, we need to schedule that client meeting.
Yes, well, we'll do that. I think tomorrow or Friday, depending upon both of our availability. Let's just sort of try and hook it off the back of a Scrum, and we'll see.
Yes, and also I would like to have to run a newsletter by you. So I'm going to write something up.
Okay.
If you have a personal greeting to all our members.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds good. Okay.
Sorry, while we're on the Agile Ventures site, I'm not a member yet, I don't think, but I'm just looking at the Getting Started page.
Mm-hmm.
It would be handy to have a link to Pivotal Tracker and GitHub to set up my accounts. Obviously, I've got a GitHub account, but I don't have a Pivotal.
Yeah. So you mean that these? Well, so the interesting thing, actually, Nikesh, is that what we do is maybe we're just completely crazy. In Agile Ventures, we allow anybody who's signed up with us to edit things directly. So if you just sort of do the GitHub sign-in to Agile Ventures,
okay,
you could go directly to that page and you could edit those things yourself.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, we trust people.
I won't break anything.
No, but seriously, we only had one incident of somebody misusing that, and that's that stupid article somebody posted. Do you remember that?
Right. But again, I think it's again how I characterize it. I think that was somebody reaching out. And sometimes people reach out in a clumsy fashion that maybe misinterpreted as stupidity. I think we should still be there, ready to receive them when they're reaching out.
I know the phenomenon. I don't know the English terminology for this. I study psychology.
Anyhow. Yes. But yes,
Well, he was basically a schmuck, you know. That's Yiddish.
Again,
that's
we're
Yiddish
working on
for
this.
an asshole.
We're working on your cynicism here. That's an ongoing process. But the Agile Ventures it's an entire community site. So the idea is that rather than the content being set top down, although that happens to a degree, is we want people who are interested in pair programming online to come and get involved and help us sort it out. So anyway, Nikesh, feel free to do that in the background. If you get stuck or don't manage or whatever, I can easily jump in there and do it myself. But
hey, I see that Nikesh already signed up. Okay.
Yeah.
there we go. Good start.
Signed up. I'm just looking around to see where I can edit stuff.
Yeah.
We'll clearly have a completely different site by the end of tomorrow. But if it's driven from the bottom up, then I really don't care.
So if you go to the Getting Started page, there is this little button icon thing.
Just here, there's a kind of the pencil in a square thing, so you should be able to click that and.
Yeah.
Okay.
With great powers comes great responsibilities, Nick.
Okay, I get it. I won't mess around with it now, but.
Yeah. No. Fair enough.
All right, I'll get that done. That sounds quite easy.
Yeah. Well, and then so Nikesh, I mean, so on the note of the pairing on engineering-related things, you're probably following the discussion with Federico and about how to start, and you've already given us some feedback. But yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to go off myself fairly soon. But if you wanted to start pairing on things, then Dan is available. Depending on if you've got time. I think either online or I think you're actually both in the same office. So feel free to come and do it in person. Yeah, after I left. Yeah, any questions from you, Nikesh, about anything that we're doing?
No, I'm going to check out Agile Ventures a bit more, see what else I can get from it, see how I can help. I think it'll help to learn. I'm still in learning mode, so.
Sure. Oh, totally. Yeah. Well, it's all about it's all about learning. It's all about. I mean, the big thing. Well, recently that we've just updated that I'm feeling. Well, for a long time these 4 things didn't point to anywhere particularly, and now they do. The key thing that I'm particularly. What was I just feeling about? I just put in my own quote here about this. Oh no, what was I doing here? Yeah, I think this is the thing. Is like for all of the learning that one does in a kind of arbitrary environment where you're working on exercises or this, that, and the other, is I think I put here. We argue. This is. I think Thomas agrees with me. Is that the critical thing that what you need to be doing in order to really develop your skills is working on non-trivial, real-world projects with non-technical customers. I think that is the critical and the part of a team. That's unfortunately the one thing that people don't get at Makers. I think Makers gives a fantastic foundation, but then the next step is, and a lot of people can go on and do that in a job, but prior to having an actual job in a real company that's got a real product and so on, then I think Agile Ventures fills a wonderful gap there. To help
I think I've seen it here as well while I've been working with the juniors and sort of running through the course with people that haven't done coding before, and I'm actually now able to explain stuff that I didn't know existed 12 weeks ago, and explain it to them in English and give them like sort of analogies that actually make sense. Yes.
Well, and I think that there's a thing on top of that, which is that at the moment that you're doing that, I think that is this fantastic experience that you're having and being involved in the teaching and so on. But there's a thing that's missing from that is that you're not dealing with a kind of a customer who's saying, I need for my business purposes to have this thing, and you guys go and figure out. I don't care how it works; it just has to work, right? And so, that, the projects at Makers are kind of student-driven. There's no external customer, and as you're, so again, those skills that you've got in there are fantastic, but there's kind of like a missing rung of the ladder of the things that you do at Makers, and I think Agile Ventures, I mean, we're just adding explicitly Agile Ventures challenges to the post course. So, hopefully going forward, all Makers students will get involved in Makers once they've graduated. So get involved with Agile Ventures once they've graduated and get that missing rung of the ladder.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful.
And working with real clients can drive you crazy, so it's a good learning experience.
I've had one exposure. It wasn't enjoyable.
Yes, well, that's one needs lots of practice and armor.
Yes, unfortunately, they are the ones paying our salaries.
Indeed.
Yes. It's a necessity.
Great. Well, thanks, guys. Great to see you here, Nikesh, and look forward to working with you more going forward.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Sam.
All right. Take care, Thomas. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye for now.